we'll get started. We're just going to kind of go through some of the basics in this first installment. So this is going to be a once a week series. I don't even know how many weeks. It's going to go till the end of March. So I don't know if that's 8 or 9, whatever that is. So we're just going to do a quick 25 to 30-minute class. Today's is on setup. Next week is going to be on database and showing you some tips and tricks on database and tagging and some things like that next week. So we'll get started. I'm going to start off with just a quick little tour in Command, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I'm going to go through some slides and then I'll jump over into my Command and show you a few things there. So first thing, here I'm logged in just to the Command screen. And I just want to point out a couple of things in that top bar, because if you haven't just kind of poked around in there, you might not be aware of some of these things yet. When you go into Command, there are 2 tabs on the top left corner. There's a Command tab and a Connect tab. It's going to default to the Command tab. However, the Connect tab is something that KW is still building out. We currently have KW Connect as a separate website, and they're working to bring that into Command piece by piece. So we'll see those features come more and more over the coming weeks as they continue to add. The end goal is to move Connect inside of here completely. So you have the Command tab and the Connect tab at the top there. And as you go further to the right, the next little icon over there is for the marketplace. Now, the marketplace is where KW has partnered or built a marketplace platform where third-party vendors can choose to partner with us. Now, in order for them to partner with us, they have to sign the data pledge. And that data pledge is that KW will always respect your data as your business. That's your data, that's your contacts, that's all your information. So in order for a vendor to be in there, they have to agree to that same thing, that they're not going to take any of that data. They're not going to sell that data. And the only vendors in there that would get access to it are the ones that you allow to connect through there. And those could be other CRM tools like Market Leader. They could be communication tools like BombBomb or different things like that. There's a number of vendors in there, and that's a growing list as more companies raise their hand saying they want to partner with KW. If you click into that marketplace, it looks like this, and there's a lot of different things in there that you can explore around on. None of them are really essential for getting going, except for one, which I'll talk about in a little bit, called Twilio, if you want to utilize automated text messages through Command. Next one over from the marketplace is the notifications. That's going to be your new lead notifications, your compliance notifications, things like that. They show up there as well as in the Kelly app. Here's a sample of some new leads. If you're importing or exporting contacts, things like that will show up here as well. Then further to the right is where you access your settings and your command control panel. And if you're a solo agent, it looks like this. And if you're on a team, it looks like this, where there's an extra option in there to toggle between a personal and a team account. Now, if you're on a team, you're probably going to do everything under that team profile in there. However, the personal one is still available. Just know that if you do things in the personal one, that's not visible to the team. And the next icon over to the right is the question mark. That's the help. And in there, you can find some guided tours. And those are just kind of like little walkthroughs that KW has put together for different parts of Command. Keller Williams University is where you can access all of the training and support articles. You can chat with support right here. It depends on when you get in there and what the queue is like. Sometimes you can do a chat and get through to people right away. Sometimes that chat takes a little longer. However, it does allow you to leave a message and they'll get back to you. So there's lots of stuff in that help and information also. Then in the top left corner, where the red square with the white KW is, if you click on that, the labels will pop out for all of the different applets or components of Command. And now you can just hover your mouse over these and the label will pop up, or you can click that red KW square to see what they are, just to familiarize yourself with what in the heck all these icons are. Definitely takes a little while. So I want to dive into the the control panel aspect to get into some of this setup. So those are redundant screenshots from before. I forgot to take those slides out. So when you click on your name and you get this drop-down menu, the first option that you really see here is the profile. Now, I just want to clear it up. This can be a little confusing because this profile right here is what's called your referral profile or your KW Connect profile. This is the profile that is visible to other KW agents. So if I was an agent in Phoenix and I was searching for an agent here to send a referral to, that is the profile that I would see as another KW agent. So I encourage you to go in there, look at what your profile looks like, and click on that edit profile button to update your contact info, add a bio if you don't have one. And then there's a series of toggle switches where you can turn on and off different things that you would like to display. So for example, mine at the bottom says years with KW6. If I didn't want that to show up on here, I could turn that toggle switch off. You also can click, if you just have a little camera silhouette here, you can click on that to upload your photo. I'd highly encourage you to put a couple of sentences in the bio and get that contact information in, because again, this is the info another agent would see when they're seeking out a referral partner. So the next one I want to talk about here is within the settings. So when you click on your name and you go into settings, you will then be taken into the back end or the control panel for command. And the first page it brings you to is this screen to connect applications. Now, in the connect applications, you'll see some of the default ones that are listed out in here. And some of them we don't really need to connect right now, and they're optional. So for example, the DocuSign one, you can connect it. However, KW and our local association do not currently have an agreement in place that allows our real estate forms to show up right in here. They're working on that. It goes through a whole legal process. So in some other states, they do have access to go right through command and tie it to DocuSign and do our document preparation and send it off for e-signatures. We just can't do that here yet. So right now we're doing all of that over in Instanet and Authentisign through the MLS, which really isn't a big deal because that's a pretty robust platform. However, there's 4 things in here that I usually like to highlight. And in here you will see, if you scroll through the list, you'll see 2 of them for Facebook. Facebook Post Scheduling and Facebook Ad Manager. Now, if you connect both of those, that will allow you to schedule free posts and run paid ads through command. And to do that, you'll have a connect button over here. You'll click on it and log in with your Facebook. Pretty easy. The other 2 are Google Calendar, and there is a Gmail one. When you connect those 2, and you do that simply by clicking the connect account button, and it'll prompt you to log in or allow your KW email to be connected. That will allow email communication from your KW email to show up in command. So if I have a contact, Steve Johnson, let's just say, in my command, and his email is stevejohnson@gmail.com, when I'm over in my KW email and I send him an email, that actually will log that communication in command within his contact card, making it really easy for me to see, where did we leave off with last? What did we talk about last? So that I can pick that right up when it's time to reach out to him again. So there's the 2 Facebook ones, Google Calendar and Gmail. And those are the important applications that I recommend connecting right away. Super easy, takes just a couple of minutes.
Hey, Marty.
Yes, sir.
If I have the KW email that forwards to my personal email, like the Tim@TimReiswig versus the TimReiswig@KW, is that still going to, if I connect those, will it do the same function, or does it have to be the KW@KW email?
Great question. No, it does not have to be a KW email. It can be any Google-powered email that you're using. If I remember right, your email is powered by Google, right, Tim? It's a Gmail?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So you can actually choose to connect that one in that instance. That's totally fine.
Thank you.
Yep. Just has to be a Google account. Yep. That's a great question. So I'll point out also, if you are on a team while you're in this settings, under the general settings piece in the top left corner, you can assign what your default account is, whether it's your personal or the team one, so that you can choose which one's the default. When you log into command, that will be the one that'll come up automatically. If you're on a team, you're probably going to want to go ahead and select the team option there. Then we're going to drill down a little bit through this menu on the left. We talked about the applications already, and there's two aspects here. There's the command settings and the connect settings, and we're going to dive into those a little bit. So under command settings, I'm going to point out a couple of the things that you can find in there. You can find your contact archive in there, so that if you have contacts in command and you choose to archive them because you had a duplicate or you put them in by accident, when you archive them, they go back. It's kind of like putting it in the back of the file cabinet. This is where you can find those to clear them out if you ever need to, or to restore them. There also is a database wipe feature. So if you just completely and royally messed up your database and you want to totally wipe it out and put everybody back in, you can do that through here. Let's have a conversation before you do that to make sure that's the route you want to go. However, you can find that option in here. And there's also an option in here for managing your tags. And we're going to really dive into tags in the next installment, next Friday. But this is where you can go in to manage the tags that you currently have. You can create them in here. This is nice because you can rename them, you can delete them, you can change the colors, do things like that after you've already set them up if you need to. And then as we go further down, there is an opportunity archive. So similar to that contact archive, when you go ahead and start making some opportunities, and maybe you put one in by mistake, or you just needed to get rid of one, or you made one as a trial one, and now it's time to get rid of it. When you do, it's an archive. It's not a delete because we can't get rid of those. That's like putting it in the back of the file cabinet again. So you can always find them in here if you need to restore one. And if you're a rainmaker on a team, there is an option in here for team permissions, where you can allow or disallow private sales pipelines. If you're looking at that option, let's have a conversation, reach out to me, and we'll talk about that and what that looks like. And then as we go down further, so that was the command settings. I highlighted just the main pieces in there. Now we'll go into the connect settings and the marketing profile. So again, we clicked on our name in the top right, and then settings. Under connect settings is where you find your marketing profile. And most of you probably have a marketing profile set up, at least with the default template. However, if you've never gone in there, go check it out, because you might not have a photo in there. And that photo shows up in a lot of different places in command, shows up on your website, shows up in your app. So it's important to get that in there. And if you don't have one yet, I would encourage you to get one as soon as you can and put that in there. So you can upload your photo, and you can upload a team logo. However, it doesn't have to be just a team logo. If you have your own personal logo, that can go in there as well. As you scroll down a little further on this page, you'll come to the contact information and bio. Go ahead and verify all of that info, change it if you need to, and make sure you get a little bio in there. It should be short, 4 to 6 sentences tops, 1, maybe 2 paragraphs. And that's important because that again goes on your website, in your app, and in a number of other places. And as you continue to scroll down, just verify the other contact info that you have in there. And the next section is the Market Center info. Pretty much everyone's Market Center info should be filled out by now. If it's not, on marketcentertech.com, I'll go there right now. Under the Resources tab, there is a command, profile, and website setup option where I have a video walking through the marketing profile. I have all of the brokerage logos that are already the appropriate size, so you can download and use them. All of the Market Center info for your marketing profile, and a legal footer, which you can just simply copy and paste. Now, that Market Center logo will look squished and funny right here. It looks good on the site though. Just this preview shows a little weird. So I could put in that market center info and the legal footer if I didn't have it. The next section is your social media links. If you have a Facebook business page, if you use Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and if you have a LinkedIn profile, feel free to go to any of those profiles, copy the link out of the top in the bar at the top and paste it in here. And those are going to add links on your app and website for people to connect with you on social media. And the last step in here is the branded KW app link. If you don't have your app link showing up in there, it should say app.kw.com and then like a 7 or 8 digit code that starts with KW. If you don't have that in there, you can find that over in the consumer tab, which is this bottom tab, our bottom applet on the left side. In that consumer applet, if I click in there, I can go into my site and app settings and URLs. That's where I can find my app link, simply copy it and go back over and paste it in. The last step of the marketing profile, once you've saved it, is up at the very top. There is a toggle switch that says use my information to brand my agent site. If that toggle switch is not turned off, go ahead and, or is not turned on, go ahead and click it to turn it on, because that's what will push this information through to your app and your website. Otherwise, your website's going to show up as just a generic site. So that kind of walks through the marketing profile and the important features in there. The next thing I want to talk about is the brand assets and designs. And this is something most people probably don't know about actually. So I'm back on the main screen of Command and I'm going to go into designs, which looks like the paintbrush over on the left-hand side, the third from the bottom icon. And when I go into designs, it's going to bring me in and it's going to show me any designs that I've previously created. So if you don't have any yet, the screen will be blank and that's just okay. That's totally fine. In the bottom right corner, you can click on the plus button, and it's cut off a little on my screen. Sorry about that. You click on that plus button and it will give you the option to start creating a design. For the purpose that we're going into here, you can select any one. I would say social or print. Those are usually the two standard ones most people are using. And that will take you in to actually show you the templates that are available either in social or print. This is where we want to get into the My Assets piece. So in the My Assets is where you can set up some pretty cool stuff that will make creating designs even easier. So if I click on My Assets here, it will bring me in and I can load in KW colors, logos, text, images. I can load all of this stuff in so that it's right there at my fingertips when I go to create a design. So you may not have any colors show up in here yet. And if you don't, you can go ahead and click on the plus button and then it will allow you to add a color. So let me pull this up on a command window. So I'm going to go into designs, plus button, and we'll just select social. Command always works best in Google Chrome, and especially when you're going into designs. Designs is not friendly with Safari. So if you're using Safari, you're going to want to go ahead and download Google Chrome just to make sure that it works the way it's intended. So if I click on My Assets at the top, I do have a few colors in here, and I can go to add more by clicking on the plus. And I can put in the RGB codes. It's not super intuitive, but I can click at the bottom here and it will give me my other options. So this is where I can put in a color code. I'm going to go ahead and throw that file, that marketing color guide, back in the chat for anyone that joined since I sent it before. So in that guide, looks like this. Shows you just the available color options of the logos. But here you can see the squares for all of the KW colors and all of those codes. So the last one on here is the hex code. So B40101 is that KW red, for example. So I can take that and go add a color. Click here a couple times, now I can get it. So I'm going to go B40101 and just hit, I think I need the hashtag in there, B40101, there we go. and hit enter, and that just added that color in here. You can go into logos and you can upload your own logos in here. This is my demo account for Lloyd Christmas, so naturally I needed a Christmas tree. The top right, you can click upload and select from wherever you want to load the logo. If you do need to download logos, we do have them all on Market Center Tech under resources and logos. Gives you the directions to download them, but you go find the one that you want. JPEGs, just for reference, have a solid white background. PNGs have a transparent background. So you're probably going to want the PNG logos so that when you put them into a design, they don't have that ugly white box around them. So I could click on the logo. For the purposes of the preview, it has the white box, but I promise you it's not there. Then I can right click and save it to my computer. Go ahead and save that. Once it's saved, I can now go upload from my device, grab that from my downloads, and there we go. Smart text. Smart text will pull in a lot of stuff from your profile if you fill that out first. Sounds like they're doing construction in the office next to me, so I apologize for that. You can go through and you can tweak these if you need to, but here it says my email is lloydchristmas@kw, my name. I can put this info in and I can add new fields if I choose to. That's info that can auto-populate into your designs. And then under images is where you can go ahead and put in your headshot. That's my most recent headshot. Actually, I borrowed it from Tim. So once you load those things in here, when you go in to create a design, so let's just grab, let me just grab any design. When you go to create a design, I'll show you where you can find those things. When you're in there under the My Assets section. So if I'm in Images and My Assets, there's the ones I loaded in Images. Under Text, there's all of that info, logos. So you can find those to very quickly and easily pull them in. So if I wanted to put a headshot, I could add that in there. I mean, I probably wouldn't do that on this design. And then if I wanted to add my name, go in, find the name, click it, adds it in. And when I select it, I can go up at the top to always change the font style, size, and color. So that brand kit, that'll save a lot of time when creating designs. You also have those colors easily available. I should have left that screen up. So that when you go in to change the color of something, your template colors are here. Your library colors are here, though. These are the colors that I loaded in. Quick and easy to find those colors to keep your designs, to keep them uniform, to keep them matching and on your color scheme for your brand. I walked through those things already. And that's really what is all encompassed in the setup. It's the marketing profile, it's the connect profile, connecting those applications, and that brand kit. You guys have any questions for me? Anything you want me to go over again, or anything you learned here that you didn't know before?
I'll ask a question, Marty, and it has to do with those logos and to make your own stationery, is it literally just a plug and play, and it's like, or do you have to monkey with the settings for the proper sizing and all that? For like an 8x10 sheet, for example, or 8.5 by 11 regular paper.
So are you saying like a document with letterhead or like a flyer?
Well, probably like a letterhead type document, like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, are you interested in selling your house? I've got a buyer type thing. is it that easy, or is it there's more stuff involved? I mean, it's perhaps a little bit off a topic here, but
Yeah, most of the designs in Command, when they're geared towards like a full page document, most of those designs are going to be geared towards like a flyer, like a listing flyer, an open house flyer, something like that.
okay.
They do have one thing in there though. So if I go in, I'm going to share my screen again. So in designs, I'll back up here. In designs, if I go to create something new, refresh my screen here quick. I go to create something new and I go into print and select next. I'll hang tight for a few seconds while it pulls up. Under the business basics category here on the left, they do have a letterhead. It's just one standard one that you can use. So if I click use, it'll pull up the editor. And now there's two templates actually in here, with and without the logo at the top. Those look like
That's awesome.
So I can add this page, and from here, I could go click on this logo and go to my logos. No, I'm not getting the replace option. So I'd have to click on this one and either the trash can in the top right corner or hit the delete and then put the logo in there and kind of move it to where I want.
Okay, I like
And
that.
in the bottom right, you can zoom in so that it's a little easier to see. So I could go down here, and the way that this one's formatted would be easier for me to type it in than to use this automated text that's over here. Oh, it's giving me some little guides there. So I can click in here and then double click, or I could highlight and change this info. I haven't actually done this before to then take this and use it like in Word or something like that. So I haven't tried that portion of it. The letterhead, I think, was added fairly recently in here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Marty, I wanted to find out what's the best way to create or update your email signature. Would it be directly on the email, or can you do that through Command and come up with something really nice, or what do you think?
Sure. A couple of options. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so in designs, they do have two email signature templates. So in designs, if I click on that plus, for that one, you're going to choose social. I really wish social was named digital because it's more than just the social media stuff. So if I go into social and hit next, it'll be under that same business basics category. There's email signatures. So they have two templates in here, a white theme and a red theme. So you can go in there, click use. You can change out this info to your info, and you could use this one. So I can click on this picture over here, go to my headshot. If I just click the plus or click on it, it will add it. And if I click the replace image or the two little circle arrows there, it will try to swap that in as best as it can to make it fit. And it should clear up in a second here, unless, there we go. So that cleared up. Gonna fix that a little bit. Then I can go click on my name, and in the text, I don't want all the bubbles. This is the downside of me demoing with my account, because sometimes KW has test features turned on for me that aren't out for everybody yet. So you might not get these little purple bubbles that look like they're not quite perfect yet, because it won't go away. So I can click on the name, and under my assets, I could go find my name and replace, and it will swap my name right in there. So you could do this option when you're done, download it and save it as a picture, either a JPEG or a PNG. Takes up to 30 seconds to wrap up that download. And I could add that in my Gmail signature. Now that's going to get you a nice looking, professional looking email signature. The links are not clickable in there though, so somebody can't click the phone number to call or click the website to go there. So I just want to make you aware of that. If that's what you're looking for, that's something you really have to outsource probably. So there is a marketplace not affiliated with KW called Fiverr, Fiverr. So fiverr.com. Let me throw that in the chat. And if you go to Fiverr and you search for an HTML signature, that's what it's called. It's called an HTML signature. You will find a whole bunch of people that are freelancers that will create email signatures for you. Starting at $5, you're realistically going to be at 15 to 20 to get the options you want. And then you can get a pretty fancy one. So like, look at this one. They have 4.9 stars. They have 802 reviews. So we can click on him, see some of his templates that he has available. Looks like he's already made some for KW agents. And then you get these links clickable in there. So if you're looking for something a little on the fancier side, that's the option that you probably need to go with. It's an HTML signature. And you'll see over on the right, they have different packages. Their basic is $10. They'll give you one image, clickable social links, and they'll give you the code in one day. When you get into the standard and the premium, now you can get multiple images. So photo, logo, your own logo, brokerage logo. So that's where I say you're probably in the $15 to $20 price range to get those. They'll send you those with the instructions to add them.
Thank you.
How's that? I gave you a free option and they gave you a low cost option too.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Marty, does Fiverr also do logos and stuff like that?
The stuff that you can find on Fiverr will alarm you.
Okay.
There used to be a person who was a larger individual who would sing happy birthday while covering himself in ketchup for $20 if you wanted him to.
Wow. Now I'm really curious.
So yes, the answer to your question, yes, you can go on Fiverr, search for logos. You can find people that will write your bio for you. You give them the details and they'll professionally write it or write website text. I mean,
Okay.
It's graphic design, digital marketing, writing. If you've ever seen a video on Facebook where it's like the little whiteboard animation with the marker that's writing or drawing a picture, you can get those done called whiteboard animations. You can have people do voiceover. I mean, and then there's weird happy birthdays that people sing too. So whatever you're looking for. Awesome. Well, that's all I have. So if you guys don't have anything else, we'll wrap it up. All right. Have a good day.